7 cans of foam so far. It takes a lot to do a layout this size, but I just sprayed that. Just put it all down. That I put down probably Tuesday, and I just added to it, so it's going to foam up a lot more. This one over here I started to test carve, which is there and there, and what I used was a wire wheel and a slow moving drill. And even at slow speeds, it does a pretty good job. It'll actually do it real easy. I only did that for probably 30 seconds. So that'll be easy to carve with the wire wheels, and I got a full set of wire wheels. And I foamed all that over a week ago. And as you can see, it supports some weight. Sorry, I know you can see my breath. No, I'm not smoking right now. It's just that cold out here. It's 22 degrees. Probably about 34 inside this tent though. So this tent actually does hold some heat. I went back and patched some of this that I've left from 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I've got all inside that crevice foaming up. I've got to pack a lot more paper back in here, but I've got 3 more cans of foam. And there's one thing that I want to suggest, because I've made the mistake of buying the red cans. Those red cans are from Lowe's. I know they sound like a great deal. Those green cans are from the Dollar General. Alright, that black can is supposed to compare to the Dollar General's DAP stuff. Alright, the Great Stuff foam in the red can does not cover very well. It only expands to about 1 inch. The stuff in those green cans expands to about 3 to 4 inches. And so far what I'm looking at with this is somewhere in between. Those red cans you can get for $4. The green cans are $5. And the black can is $5. I'm gonna go back to the green cans. I just bought 4 of these cans. They do about as much as the red cans. The same amounts in there, I guess. It's just expands a little bit better. But, alright, 2 of those green cans did this entire thing and half of this with just 2 cans. I used the 3rd can to get across here. Well, no, I think I used the red can. Yeah, I used all 3 red cans on that one over there, and this took 2 of the green cans. That's a lot cheaper of an option. Alright. Now I used the black can, and the other green can went to this. Sorry. I used the black can. It did this. That little bit that's behind it. The little bit of patchwork. The little bit of patchwork over here. And the little bit of patchwork over here, and died. They should have went at least a lot more than this. So I'm going back to the green cans, and I'm gonna buy them at my local Dollar General instead of going 20 miles, well 10 miles to Lowe's and then 10 miles back to spend $5 on their big gap filler that does not even have half of what's in those green cans. So go to your dollar store and buy them. They're $5. This is $5. So I'm spending $10 to get the same amount as what's in that green DAP can down there. This is a ripoff. Those red cans from Lowe's were a ripoff. I'm going back to those green cans from the Dollar General. Now the guy at Lowe's told me that the DAP cans from Dollar General, alright, this was the same comparison. Alright, 12 ounces. Those are 12 ounces. This does not go anywhere near as far as that. So I'm going back to those green cans as soon as I use these 4 up. But I should have spent $20 on 4 of those instead of going to Lowe's to get 2 of those and 4 cans. Layout's coming along really good. I did fix the rails back here in that corner, but unfortunately I got boxes and stuff in the way now. That curb is now nice and smooth. Alright. My power plant is in. I had to take the loading dock off of it. That is my Model Power 260. And my Model Power 440 is over here in front of my Bachmann Doodlebug. Alright. My layout, as I said before, is going back to 1935. The Doodlebug actually was started to be made in 1931 was when the first production came out. So that's good. My SW1200s, I'm pulling the rear exhaust stack off of them, and that turns them into 6 or 900s because there's only the front exhaust. So I could still use them. They would be brand new for 1935. If I can get some of the old Lifelike 060Ts, I'm going to try to get them and hornshoe a decoder that'll fit into them if I can find them. Unfortunately, that means that my F units, my GP9s, my GP40s from Bachmann, I won't be selling my Chessie unit, but my Chessie's staying. Sorry, I don't care if it becomes a shelf diva. She's staying. Those two, bye-bye. I've got another 1 or 2 around here. They're going to go bye-byes. Good news is, those Bachmann tank cars, actually that design dates to 1929, so I can keep those. Those covered hoppers, nope, bye. I'm going to keep 1 or 2, maybe all 4 of my 60-foot Chessie box cars just because I like them. Autorec, bye-bye. I've got a bunch of 3-bay covered hoppers go bye-bye. This entire set of micro trains, World War II, troop sleepers and troop kitchen, bye-bye. Alright. This SW1200 that's got a broken exhaust pipe and the bell's missing, I'm probably going to sell pretty quick. My crane stays. I know I need to add an exhaust for steam, but it stays. I know it was converted to diesel, but it goes back. My 3-bay hoppers, and what's sad is I just bought 50 of them. They're too big. I need 2 bays. So they're going bye-byes. Except for my Chessie Systems and my Western Marylands, which I think is all that I have that aren't decorated. I'm going to keep them. I'm also keeping anything that's 40 foot and under for right now, because it looks like I got a whole lot of rolling stock to buy. I was thinking of doing 1980s, 1990s. I like that era and everything else, but tell you the truth, old steam engines, I love them. I always have. And the 1930s was a time when trains were rather short, pretty much 10, 15 cars max. The only trains that got longer were power plant coal trains. Power plants were rather small. This is still considered pretty small. So, but that would power a complete rural area all the way up to a major city, and I just like that. So that's going to be there. The coal mine that I did buy will go in here. I am completely redesigning this yard. As I said, I want to have car servicing on this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these bottom two tracks into ready tracks for the roundhouse. So the turntable is going to be moved up to where these two lines can actually meet into it easier. I'm not going to take it off the arrival departure anymore. I'm actually going to run it behind the yard, and I just stuck my foot in it, didn't I? And this is what happens when you put yourself into a wet styrofoam that isn't cured yet. Unfortunately, I did that with that too. Now, as I replace my turnouts, I have somebody that is getting back into the hobby after a few years that I am giving my turnouts to. Yeah, my cabooses stay. I love cabooses. But my turntable and my engine servicing will be on this edge, so that way it makes it a little easier for me when I'm operating alone to reach the water tower and everything else back in here. These two lines will probably go there and there. One will have the coal tower and sanding facility lead, so that way it can service the steam engines. The other one will be for your engines to actually go in and out of the turntable. So it's going to be service of the locomotives there. The roundhouse is going there. I might buy another kit and extend it out to here, but I think I'm going to leave the turntable exactly where it's at and just run these two lines over to here and see how that works out. If not, I might have to rotate the turntable or move the turntable completely. This turnout here is done. It's one that I've replaced. This is a very old, let me turn around the right way. Very old Atlas. And you see how it's made in Austria? Yeah, this is still a good turnout. It still works the way it's supposed to and everything else. But you notice how it's orange looking? Yeah, this was made in the 1970s. And that track is brass. Alright, I have a few pieces of brass flex track in this yard. Matter of fact, here's one right here. That is Atlas, made in Austria. See, the ties even match. That is literally brass track. Now, I've seen online quite a few places, quite a few people say that they never made brass track for N scale. What am I holding in my hand? That's not nickel silver. I don't know if you can see the difference. That's a nickel silver turnout. That's a brass turnout. You can see by the color. So anybody out there saying that, you know, they don't make brass turnouts, they don't make brass track, there's another brass turnout that I'm about to replace. That's nickel silver. You can tell pretty quickly just by the color that there's a difference. And that one there's a dummy turnout. I mean, not a dummy, manual turnout. This is a remote. I'm gonna be boxing up things over the next couple of days for this fella. As you can see, I've got a lot of cars that need service so that they can be put into service. There's a difference between a 50 and a 60 foot car. Those 2-bay hoppers I will be using. My cabooses will be staying. The 2-bay covered hoppers will serve my grain industry just as well as my box cars. And there's a 40 foot box car sitting next to a 40 42-foot 3-bay hopper. So yeah, I've got plenty of 3-bay hoppers. I even got a refrigerator Bangor main car. But for the most part, everything. Oh, look at that. How's that for too daggone new? Daggone it, because I like beer can shorties. They look cool. And you can run a lot with them. What do I have in this bag here? Oh, masking tape. Okay. And I still have a lot more locomotives. F units going. That GP38 is actually DCC, but every time I put the shell on, the DCC shorts out. So that's my only last lifelike GP38, and it's not happy. Then I've got another F unit that needs work. I've got a GP40 that needs work. Like I said, I'm keeping my cabooses. And there's another tray somewhere around here. Sorry about the spin too quick. Oh, there it is. I put stuff on top of it. I wonder I can't find nothing. There's more detail parts, plastic pellet hoppers, and some more cars that I've got to go through and all this. So, yeah. This boy that's getting back into the hobby said that he's willing to pay me. And I know how much I love this Kato unit. And I do. Alright. I've upgraded the couplers to Microtrains couplers. I wonder if that spring came out. I don't know. Front coupler's great. I know how much I love it. It is the one Sparky sent me from winning that contest. I think because of the amount that I'm going to have to replace. Unfortunately, the contest locomotive might reach the chopping block. I don't know for sure yet. Don't quote me on it. But it might have to go instead of being a shelf Barbie. But then again, I don't know, because I just recently acquired a 6x8 foot in scale train display, and it might go on that shelf, but I've kind of got it set up so that way when I can hang it on the wall of my workshop, it's going to be set up as needs repair, back to the layout. So that way, whatever I have in my car shop here at the end of a running session, I can run over there, stick on the shelf, so that way I know this needs repair, that needs repair, and it goes and gets repairs. I'm going to save one bay in my roundhouse for exactly the same reason. Is it will have a place inside so that I could take it in for repair. Well, that's enough of rambling for me for tonight. It's been 20 minutes. I am freezing my patootie off. Y'all have a good one. Hopefully you get a nice warm layout space instead of a cool layout space like I got. Oh, yeah, and that is a whole big tub of spackle. And it's still good. I gotta go patch my mom's spare bedroom. And when this gets carved up and ready to go, that's going in for a final scenery layer. So you'll see that all over this foam. Then guess what? My trees get replanted. No, not quite yet. I got to grind up a bunch of ground foam for grass and everything else. But I got a lot more foaming left to do. This is going to take a couple more weeks yet. The good news is steel bridges and stone bridges were available back then. However, I'm going to get a Tam Valley single track truss bridge that'll cover that entire area. So that bridge is gone as soon as I get that. And then I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this little bridge down here, because I can't remember how long it is. I know it's 2 Kato viaducts. I think they're the 4 and some odd inch ones. I think the same length as the 9 3/4 inch. But I know with the length that is, the 120 foot Tam Valley Bridge, I believe it is, will be going in its place. So it'll look a lot nicer. It won't have as much of a clearance issue underneath of it because it's a lot tighter to the rail. And that's going to finish that. I need to get the spackling joint compound out to do my rubber base and level it and smooth it out on all areas. Oh yeah, this old thing still works. It's a great soldering iron. I actually just used it to solder feeders, and I like it more than I like my pen type soldering irons. Because all I gotta do is add a little bit of tin to it, which it's got a lot of carbon buildup on it. Add a little bit of tin to it, squeeze trigger, it heats up real quick, solders real quick, and then once I let go of the trigger, it cools off really quick. So I like this one because I don't have to worry about it as much. I don't have to leave it warm up and wait on it to warm up. This will warm up in about 5 seconds. When I squeeze that trigger, it's ready to go. And then at the end of the day, all I gotta do is sit down. I don't know why I still have the cap off of that. But yeah, my scratch building supplies have got to go in the house. I don't know why they're out here, but I'm going in. Y'all have a good one. Hope you enjoy seeing the progress. I'll show you more next Sunday.